Good evening, world. It's 7 o'clock. So, this is going to be another video I'm going to be making with my board. I decided to take a little break from my Lord of the Rings series. As even though my Lord of the Rings series is interesting, you guys obviously prefer when I babble on. Obviously, it's more interesting when I babble on. Obviously, today I thought it would be cool to make a video about freedom and the price of fame. So, my past videos, I pretty much been what? In my past couple of videos, I pretty much talked a little bit about what? Talked about freedom, having freedom, being free and not rich, and being rich and not free. And I thought it would be cool to delve deep into this topic, which is, I'm going to call it freedom and the price for fame. I thought it would be cool to make a long video about this. I'll make a good, I don't know, hour and 30-minute video here. I'll talk about what? Freedom and the price for fame, and how, in my personal opinion, I'm going to talk about how freedom is worth more than money. I'm going to mention that in my video. As there's nothing worse than having a lot of money and you're what? Even though you have a lot of money, you can do a lot of good things with money. Money can't, there's a saying, money can't buy you happiness. Money can make you happy. You can do good stuff with money. You can travel the world. You know what I'm saying? You can travel the world. You can do a lot of good stuff with money, obviously. But I'm just saying that what? In this world, if you want to make your millions, you have to pay a price. That's how it works, man. There's no such thing as free money in this world. I keep saying that. There is no such thing as free money. And by the way, all the people who sold out for fame and fortune, whatever happened behind the scenes, they have to keep that a secret. They can't tell anyone what happened. Obviously. So whenever they like someone who sold out is not going to tell you that they sold out. No, as part of the contract, they're not supposed to what? They're not supposed to reveal any of the dark secrets and all stuff about selling and all stuff. They have to keep it a secret, obviously. Right? And so if they want to make their money, they have to keep their mouth shut. That's how it works. So first, I'm going to give you a little introduction about gatekeepers. I'm going to talk about gatekeepers, obviously. I think you have gatekeepers. Me and my wife's step families, they're the ultimate gatekeepers. They're the big bosses. But within every branch, every level of business, you have gatekeepers in every level. Obviously, it's common sense. In every branch of business, you have gatekeepers. Gatekeepers that control the what? Control the money and the finances in each level of business. And once you hit a certain level of success, you end up being one of the gatekeepers. And you have to sell to them. And in return, when you sell to them, they open a door for you. You'll make your money, obviously, but you're no longer free. You no longer have freedom, obviously. Right now, hopefully my markers work better this time. I haven't used my markers in a good month, for more than a month now. So hopefully my markers work pretty well. I'm gonna try black. I'm gonna use all the dark colors. That way you can see the board well. Obviously, you're looking at a very, very interesting river. So all you aspiring people out there, I don't know, to all you academics out there who want to be the next, I don't know, Lawrence Krauss, Richard Dawkins, you want to be the next Sam Harris, you know what I'm saying? All you people who work in academic business, right, who are professors, who want their books to sell 100,000 copies. I'm just saying, you got to pay a price for that. You want to be a famous professor, you know what I'm saying? To all you aspiring actors who want to be what? The next Will Smith, the next Henry Cavill, the next Vin Diesel, the next Dwayne Johnson. Go and achieve that dream all you want, as right. You're gonna, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying you have to pay a price for that. As there's no such thing as free money in this world. And I told you, even if you sell out, you know what I'm saying, and the companies, and you're not free, and they own you, right? At least you're going to be living a decent life for yourself because you have money, obviously. Because you have money, you're still going to be able to live a decent life. But chances are, I'm going to keep saying it, you're going to be miserable because you sold your soul, man. You're not, so even though you have a lot of money, you're not free. You're a slave. You're a slave to someone else. You're a slave to the system, obviously. All you NBA wannabe players, right? And for all you NHL players who want to be the next Sidney Crosby, the next Connor McDavid. If you want to make those millions, you got to pay a price. There's no such thing as free money in this world. For all you NBA wannabes who want to be the next LeBron James, you think LeBron James made all that money for free? Nah, man. You have to pay a price for that. To all you football players who want to be the next Tom Brady, the next Ray Lewis, you have to pay a price if you want to make your millions, obviously. There may be some exceptions, but I highly doubt it, man. There's no way in this world they're going to pay you millions of dollars to make that money for free. No, man. You have to pay a price for that, man. That's how it works. That's how it works, man. That's how it works in this world. There's no such thing as free money, obviously. I may be wrong. There may be some exceptions, but I highly doubt it, man. Chances are, if the guy's a multimillionaire, he paid a price to make that money. To all you stand-up comedians who want to be the next Dave Chappelle, the next Russell Peters. You want to be successful as those guys, you have to pay a price, obviously. You have to sell your soul. And in return, they open doors for you, and you'll make your millions, you'll be famous, but you're no longer free. That's how it works. See? Now, I'm going to keep saying this, world. You better fucking enjoy this series Why So Can. It's a very interesting series. You better enjoy Why So Can. It's the only reason why I'm pumping out a lot of videos. It's because what? The only reason why I'm pumping out a lot of videos is because I know the countdown's soon ticking. Tomorrow I'll continue my chapter 5. I'll finish off chapter 5. My Lord of the Rings very long. Look at interesting over that. And after that, sometime I went over one chapter today. I only have one chapter left and I'm done volume 2. And I'm moving on to volume 3. At the end of the month I'll be done going over my whole book. And this is the last time I'm going over my book. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope there's not as much typos. You're going to catch typos in my book. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that there's not as much typos, obviously. Right? Cross my fingers, hope there's not much typos. That's why you world better stop taking for granted. Is once I make that final announcement, that is it for Ivan O'Meara. I'm not making more videos for you. I'm going to cry my eyes out. And I'm going to suffer death and pay this fee. And once I come from death, you world will know that Ivan O'Meara what? Ivan O'Meara paid his debt. And now I'm going to see my wife, my beautiful wife. I'm going to live the amazing billionaire life, multi-millionaire life with her forever. I'm going to start SkySource, and I'm going to live my life where you guys are all left behind. So this video will be called Freedom and the Price for Fame. So very quickly, before I talk about I already mentioned this in my past videos, but I thought it'd be cool to delve in depth for this video, obviously. So I'm going to say this. In this world, you have what? Obviously. I'm going to say this. Right? I hope you guys can see the black hole. My marker should work. In this world... right? There is what? There is no such thing as free money, man. I'm gonna keep saying that. The fact that I have to pay a price to make money, that's how you know there's no such thing as free money. In this world, there is no such thing as free money. That's free money. I'm gonna keep saying that. There is no such thing in this world as free money. As what? You have to pay a price to make your millions. That's how it works. My mark is running out here. Hence why I was debating whether I should write on my board or should I make a video with my background, but I wanted to make a video with my board. So in this world, there is no such thing as free money, as you have to pay a price to make your millions. That's how it works in this world. If you want to make your millions in this world, you have to what? I hope you guys can see the black wall. In this world, there is no such thing as free money, as you have to pay a price to make your millions in this world. That's how it works in this world. You have to pay a price to make your millions in this world. That's how it works. There is no such thing as free money, man. As there's nothing free in this world. Right? There's no such thing as free money in this world. Right? You have to pay a price. You have to pay a price to make what? Your millions. That's how it works. See, right? So I'm going to say this. In this world, there's no such thing as free money, as you have to pay a price to make your millions. All these Hollywood celebrities have to pay a price to make their millions. You want to make a nice $5 million, $10 million for your movie, You have to pay a price for that. If you want to be a successful academic professor like Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, you have to pay a price. There's nothing free in this world. Obviously, or if you want to be a regular professor and make $150,000 a year, you don't have to pay a price for that. But if you want to be a famous professor, whereby you're a professor and you have best-selling novels at universities, you travel around the world and you speak in front of universities, thousands of you speak in front of universities, you have your own documentary, all that, you have to pay for all that, man. It's something. You want to sell 300,000 copies, 5,000 copies for your book, 1,000,000 copies for your book, you have to pay prices. There's no such thing as free money. That's how it works. There's just no. Everyone in this world who made their millions didn't make that money for free, man. They have to pay to make that money. So in this world, you have what? I'll say this. In every branch of business, obviously, you have gatekeepers, obviously. You have gatekeepers. Obviously. So my step family and VJ step families, they're the ultimate gatekeepers, obviously. Obviously, right? So I'll say this. So VJ, I'll talk about that later on. Obviously. So in every branch of business, you have gatekeepers. Right? So the academic world, you have gatekeepers, obviously. You have the academic world, you have the sports world. Sports, Hollywood. Right? You have academic, sports, Hollywood. You have news, obviously. I'm not going to mention, you have academic, you have sports, you have Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Stand-up comedy, obviously, right? I'm just going to say the three. Academic, sports, and Hollywood, and I'll say YouTube. Because that pretty much sums it up, right? And you have YouTube too, obviously. As all these YouTubers who have millions of followers, they didn't get those followers for free, man. They have to pay a price for that, man. In exchange for them selling their soul, the gatekeepers open the doors to them, and hence why they have very successful channels. Because once you hit a certain level of success, you're going to end up being a gatekeeper, obviously. So you have gatekeepers, obviously, that control, obviously, they control what? They control all these what? All these branches of business, obviously. So in every branch of business, you have gatekeepers. You have the academic, the sports, Hollywood, you have YouTube. There's gatekeepers in all these what? All these branches of business, you have gatekeepers. Plumbers here, obviously, right? You have gatekeepers. So for the academics, obviously, so be a successful professor, right? Famous professor, you have to sell to the gatekeeper, obviously. Right. So I'll talk about this later on. So in every branch of business, you have gatekeepers. You have the academic world, the sport world, the Hollywood, and you have YouTube. You also have other branches too, which I'm not going to mention all the branches. But you have the academic world, you have the sports world, you have Hollywood, you have YouTube. You also have Christian ministries. All these successful Christian preachers who you see on TV, they all have to pay a price to what? To have a successful ministry. They all have to pay. They all have to sell to a gatekeeper, obviously, right? So in every branch of business, you have gatekeepers. You have the academic world, sports world, Hollywood, YouTube, Christian ministries, stand-up comedian, the news network, all that stuff. You have gatekeepers in all those what? All those branches of business, obviously. Obviously, what? I'll say this. Once what? I'll say this. In all branches of what? Of these businesses, obviously. Once you hit a certain level of success, you will what? You will meet one of the gatekeepers. That's how it works, man. one of the gatekeepers. That's how it works in this world. Right? So in all these levels of businesses, so for the YouTuber and Hollywood, sports, academic, all branches of these businesses, once you hit a certain level of success, you will meet one of the gatekeepers. What? That way, because the reason why this world has gatekeepers is that way the finances can be controlled, obviously. Because they don't want anyone rising and being and having power. And it's in this world, if you want to have power and be rich, you have to sell to one of the gatekeepers, obviously. Right? So in every branch of business, you have gatekeepers. You have the academic world, the sport world, the Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? You have YouTube. You have Christian ministries, all that stuff. There's gatekeepers in all those branches of business. In all branches of business, in all branches of these businesses, once you, so if you're a lucky guy or woman who happens to be in the academic world and you become very famous, your book's a hit. You know what I'm saying? You become very famous as an academic. You're famous in the sport world, Hollywood world, as well as YouTube. You're gonna end up meeting one of the gatekeepers. Once you hit a certain level of success, you will meet one of the gatekeepers, and you will have to what? And you will find out very quickly that you have to sell. That you have to what? That you have to sell to them. Sell your soul, obviously. What? To be more famous and successful, obviously. That's how it works in this world. And my marker's running out. All my markers are running out, man. I hope you guys can see the blue pretty well. Use another color. You find out very quickly once what? I'll try red. Find out very quickly that once you hit a certain level of success in this world, you're going to end up meeting one of the gatekeepers. That's how it works in this world. As there's no such thing as free money. No way in hell in this world you're going to make your millions for free. No way. You have to sell your soul to make your millions. That's how it works. Right. So in every branch of business, you have gatekeepers. The academic world, the sport world, Hollywood, YouTube. You want to be a successful professor, like Lawrence Krauss, Sam Harris, you know what I'm saying? Sam Craig. Is it Sam Harris or Sam Craig? I think it's Sam Craig. I don't remember his name. You want to be successful like those guys, like Richard Dawkins, you know what I'm saying? If you want to be a successful sport athlete, a successful Hollywood celebrity, successful YouTuber, celebrity YouTuber who has like, I don't know, 1 million, 3 million followers, 12 million followers, you have to sell your soul. There's no such thing as free money in this world. As all these guys all met gatekeepers, obviously. In all branches of these businesses, once you hit a certain level of success, you will meet one of the gatekeepers, and you will find out very quickly that you have to sell your soul to be more famous and successful. That's how it works in this world, obviously. Then all these branches, you have gatekeepers that control the finances, and you're gonna find out very quickly. Everything looks nice. You're happy. You're in that room. But once they get into the meat of the deal, you find out very quickly that you have to sell your soul to be more famous and to be famous and successful. So you have to sell to one of the gatekeepers, obviously. That's how it works. Right? In a good hour and a half, I'll end the video here. This video will only be like an hour and a half. I'll end it here. Take a shower, get a smoke, and I'll watch the show when I come back home. Obviously, right? Right, so VJ's family, obviously, and what? And Ivan O'Mara's family. I'll say step. They're not my real family. VJ's step family and my step family, obviously. They are what? They are the ultimate gatekeepers, obviously. They're the big bosses, obviously. They're the ultimate gatekeepers. And then under them, there's also gatekeepers, obviously, who are under them. Right? And these gatekeepers, they control what? The finances, obviously. control the finances. So VJ's family and my stepfamily, they're the ultimate gatekeepers. So they're the big bosses, obviously. They're the big bosses. And then there's gatekeepers under them who control the finances. The academic world, you know what I'm saying? Sports, YouTube, Hollywood, like all the gatekeepers, they control all that, obviously, right? Hollywood, Christian ministries, obviously, right? The gatekeepers control all that, obviously. So VJ's stepfamily and my stepfamily, they're the ultimate gatekeepers. They're the big bosses, obviously. And then there's gatekeepers under them so they control. So even though they're the ultimate gatekeepers, there's obviously gatekeepers that work under them, and they control the finances also. And they control the academic world, the sport world, the YouTube, Hollywood, Christian ministries, what have you. That's the power structure, obviously, in this world. Obviously, that's the power structure that you get in this world. Right, so you have VJ's stepfamily and my stepfamily. They're the ultimate gatekeepers. They're the big bosses. I told you there's a reason why me and my wife were born to these families, because these families are the gatekeepers who open doors to fame and success. They're the what? They're the gatekeepers. They're the big bosses in the world, obviously. Very, very powerful, obviously. And then under them, you also have gatekeepers, obviously, who control the finances around or in the world. So the academic world, the sport world, YouTube, Hollywood, Christian ministries, stand-up comedian, all that stuff. They control all that. That way, what? Hence why all these famous, successful people, they all what? They all sold their soul to these gatekeepers, and in return of selling their soul to them, they grant them what? They grant them fame and fortune. But in return, the gatekeepers now own them, and they're what? They're no longer free, and they're famous and successful, but they're dirty slaves and they're not free. Obviously. My stomach hurts. Right? They're dirty slaves and they're not free. See what I'm saying here? I feel a lot better today because my nose is not as stuffed. I'm feeling a lot better today. So VJ's stepfamily, right? So VJ's stepfamily and my stepfamily, they're the ultimate gatekeepers. They're the big bosses. And then under them, you have the gatekeepers in the academic world, the sport world, the YouTube world, Hollywood, Christian ministries. They control all the finances. And all the famous, rich people working in one of these branches, obviously, are what? Are owned by them, obviously. Are owned by what? By them. Meaning the gatekeepers, obviously. So all the famous rich people working in one of these branches are all owned by them. That's how it works. They're all owned by them. By what? They're all owned by the gatekeepers, obviously. That's how it works. They're all owned by the gatekeepers. And because they sold out to them, in return they get fame. They open the door for them. They get their fame and fortune, but they're no longer free. They're slaves to the system. I may be mistaken in a few things. There may be some exceptions, but I highly doubt it. Chances are, if the guy's really, really rich, chances are he sold his soul, man. Because there's no such thing as free money in this world. Right? This is pretty much the power structure. VJ's family and Ivan's family are the ultimate gatekeepers, and you have gatekeepers under them who control the finances within all these branches of businesses. Academic world, sport world, YouTube, Hollywood, Christian ministries. And all the famous rich people working in one of these branches are owned by them, by the gatekeepers. And in exchange for being owned by them, the gatekeepers open the door for them. They're able to make their millions. and be famous, obviously. The price for fame, obviously. See what I'm saying here? That's how it works. 25 minutes here. I know this video might be an hour. I don't know if I can babble on for an hour and a half. Because I've already delved in depth about the price for fame. Obviously, right? I don't know, like what else? Yeah. I'll say this. There's no such thing as being rich and free in this world. Rich and free in this world. You are either one or the other. That's how it works. There's no such thing as being rich and free in this world. Either you're one or the other. So that you're either rich and you're not free, or you're free and you're not rich. That's how it works. There may be a few exceptions, but I highly doubt it, man. There's no way in this world. There's no way in this world you're gonna make your millions and you're living free. No, man. You gotta pay the price for that. There's no such thing as being rich and free in this world. You're either one or the other, obviously. Right? So, you're either what? Rich and not free, right? Or free and not rich. That's how it works. You can't have both. You cannot have both, man. That's how it works in this world. You cannot have both. Except for Ivan Amaro. I'm the only one who can have both. You cannot have both, man. It's either one or the other. You're either one or the other. That's how it works. So, after this video, I'm gonna sit down for a bit because I have a bit of a stomach ache. I'll continue the rest of the video. Right. So in this world, there's no such thing as being rich and free in this world. As you're either one or the other. So it's either you're rich and you're not free, or you're free and you're not rich. That's how it works in this world. So you're either rich and not free, or you're free and not rich. That's how it works in this world. Right? Like when I mean rich, I mean like someone who makes like millions of dollars. Someone who's making like 900 grand, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million a year. That man or woman had to pay a price to make that money. There's no such thing as being rich and free in this world. Right. You can make 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year, and be free, obviously, because even though if you make $200,000 a year, you're an upper class person, you're rich. But like you don't have to pay a price to make $200,000. To make 100 grand, 200 grand a year, you don't have to pay a price for that. If you want to make your millions, you have to pay a price. There's no such thing as free money in this world. It's everyone who made those millions have to pay a price. That's how it works. There is no such thing as being rich and free in this world. You're either one or the other. So you're either rich and not free, or free and not rich. You cannot have both. No way you can have both in this world. It's either you have one or the other. So either you have the money but you're not free, or you don't have the money, you're not a multimillionaire but you're free. That's how it works in this world. That is how it works in this world. See what I'm saying here? Because there's no such thing as free money in this world. You have to pay a price to make money. That's how it works. When I mean money, I'm talking about millions. But you don't have to pay a price. To make 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year, you don't have to pay a price for that. If you want to make your millions, you're going to end up being a gatekeeper. You have to pay a price. That's how it works. See what I'm saying here? Give me a sec here. I'm going to shut this camera off here.